Hello, good evening, everybody. Uh, First thing, I must tell you that this is one of the most beautiful campuses I have seen. I've been to IIT Delhi, I've been to many other IITs. And it's a privilege to be here in IIT Kharagpur and amongst the brightest. Thank you so much for calling me here. Thank you so much. I don't know where to start, because I don't know where I was supposed to be at this moment, Why I'm saying this, because I've been always telling that I'm an incidental filmmaker. I was not meant to be a filmmaker at all. A filmmaker needs to be from some kind of a art background or literature background. But I had done nothing. I'm a sportsman, I'm a footballer. I just love football. And if there is a football match going on and if I am playing and there's a shoot going on, I can leave my shoot and go for a football match. And I've done that many times. So, let me just share you a few moments that how I got into this, how I got into being a filmmaker, where I don't know anything about framing, anything about colors, anything about look, dimensions, aperture, nothing. I have studied in Delhi University and I got into colleges through my football. Very low in percentage in my school, and then went into a commerce college, become honors. My father wanted to me that I should go to a good college. So how to get into a good college? So I showed some good skills in my football, and then they gave me an admission. And I was there in this college, and my father was really happy that I've got a good college. And what do I do after that? I couldn't finish my graduation. And I get a job. How do I get my job? In a Hotel Meridian in Delhi. Because Hotel Meridian had suddenly want to play a match, football match, with the Taj Hotel. And they wanted to play. So they hired me for 500 rupees to play a match against Taj Hotel. We win the match and I get the job. So that's how my job started. Okay, so when I get my job, I don't know how many of you know Delhi. Hotel Meridian is in Janpath. Janpath is in Connaught Place. And just a kilometer away is the hub of theatre, is National School of Drama and Mandi House. So one day during lunch, after doing debit and credit, I walk and go to Mandi House. And I see a poster of a play, of a theatre production by Naseeruddin Shah and Satyadev Dubey. And something, I don't know what happens on that day, that I buy the tickets and I said, okay, let me watch this play. And I go inside and I watch that play. I see the first show. Something happens to me. I watch the second show. And I walk back from that NSD school, National School of Drama. There was a Kamani theatre. From there, I walk back to my Hotel Meridian. And I was a changed Shoojit Sircar. Completely changed. Something happened on that day. And from that day onwards, I started going to this Mandi House every day. Just meeting some theatre people. I see people doing rehearsals. And during that time, there was one group which was forming. The name of group is, I'm still founder member of that group. It's named Act One. Some of my And by that time, I also apply for some management training MIT in Ghaziabad. And I get through. I don't know how. And my father thinks I've reached somewhere, I got through MIT. But he doesn't know that I didn't go to the college for the first 6 months at all. I didn't visit the college because I was going to the theater group. And my contemporaries, first time I meet in the theater group who was also starting up was Manoj Vajpayee, Piyush Mishra, Ashish Vidyarthi, Raghuveer Yadav. All they were forming a group. Seema Biswas. Seema Biswas is famous for Bandit Queen, if you know. And they're starting up a play. So the rehearsals it's a production day, it's a stage like this. And I just walk in and look. By the time I made just a friendly with one person, and he says, okay, come, just hang around. I said, hang around. So the director of the group was Rakesh Sharma. So he looks at me and he says, tu kaun hai? So I said, no, I have come with a friend called Gajraj, so I am here. So those people were building up the stage and the sets, and they were putting the skirtings, on the stage. There were skirtings. And it was really shabby work that they were doing. So I asked NK, the director, can I nail those and fix that thing? He says, come, go. You know how to do it? I said, yeah. So one thing that I learned from my father, he was a very good carpenter. So I could nail perfectly. So I went into the group, and they were all rehearsals and everywhere, and I put the skirting perfectly. And just in a quick span of, say, an hour or so. They came in and they saw that today the skirting, because other days they were doing it, it was perfect. So NK said, "Ye tune kiya hai?" So maine bola, "Haan, kal bhi aana." Maine bola, "Theek hai." So that's how my theater started. And that's how I was introduced into this medium of art, acting, theater, cinema, and everything. I never seen a film. I also always seen a film which are mostly Sunny Deol films or Mr. Bachchan films or whatever it is. But I've never seen films that seriously. I used to watch Ray films from schools. They'll take me to watch Pother Pachali, Ray's first film. I slept half through, half the film, so I didn't know what to do. Then, when I was in class 12th, they again took me to show me this film, Pother Pachali. Nobody was in the theater, we all walked out. And after joining this group, in Delhi, there was earlier the film festival used to happen in Delhi, in Shri Fort Auditorium. And there I watched Pother Pachali, almost with 3 people, 3 of my friends, and very less people in a 9 o'clock show. And I see that film, and I was in a deep shock watching that film. I cry watching that film. How could be a film that simple? And from that day and now, hardly there is any week that I've not watched that film, Pother Pachali, by Mr. Ray. And that film has become a Bible for me. And I think he's one filmmaker that I bow. And that's how he is. He's an inspiration. His films, I go and I just talk about his films. When I go around in Mumbai, meeting all filmmakers and actors, when I find out that they have not watched Ray, I make sure that I buy Ray DVDs and give it to them, and I make sure that they watch it. And I said, if you really want to make a film, or you really want to be in this medium, Ray, don't miss Ray. Just watch all the Ray films. So he is my Bible, he is my everything, and that's why I've learned filmmaking. But let me tell you, theater is not the place in our country where you can really earn money and run yourself. So during the theater time, we won't have much money to spend. I think Piyush was here last year. He must have told you about Act 1 also. I don't know how many of you have heard him. So we won't have money. We will skip lunch. We'll straight away go for dinner. We'll go for group singing somewhere. We'll collect some money, eat food, do our play. So for 4 years, I do theater production with Act 1. But now the group needs money to perform more plays. So I used to be backstage. I never acted. So I always in the music and direction. So my group asks that some of you should volunteer and work outside, earn money and bring it to the group. So here I am, I volunteer, okay, I will work. So there's a luck which favored me at some place. I've done a lot of UNICEF film, UNESCO films, many. So here's a luck, I get to work with one of the very known at that time quiz master, Siddharth Basu. So he calls me and tells me, what can you do? I said, I can assist you, and the best thing I can do is I can iron clothes. So he says, okay, come, join in. And I could not answer what he was. Suppose he will take me to a show, of his quiz show. All his questions were like a bouncer coming onto me. I don't know what is he asking, what is somebody's answering. So because I had no clue what he was doing out there. But okay, fine, I had to earn money, my focus was there. So then in that span of 3 months or 4 months, he wants to do a fiction and a corporate, and fiction is my forte. And he gives me a job. I'm like a third assistant working with me. So he gives me a job, okay, you are going to assist this, work on this film, and this film will be directed by, I have hired a gentleman called Pradeep Sircar. Pradeep Sircar, I know, famous, Parinita and Mardani director. He was a very senior director in Delhi. I have never seen a touched a camera. I have never went into an edit suite. I have done nothing on camera. The first time here I am working with him. So we go and shoot. And we come back with lots of footages. Pradeep Sircar loves shooting. He just takes all angles, everything, here, all will put the cameras and take a lot of shots. And he comes back and he loves to edit. He doesn't rest. He will shoot, he'll come, even if it's night 2 o'clock, he'll start editing. And first time I enter an editing studio, I see lights and monitor coming all over. But somehow, till now, I have learned the bit of a jugaad system, how things work. So he edits. Now, Pradeep Sircar used to do a job. He used to work in contract, an advertising company. So in the morning he came around 9 o'clock. We start editing till 11. He edits, and he vanishes. He said, "Just take out all the shots. I'm coming back." And Siddharth Basu keep calling me. Okay, Shoojit, where is Pradeep? I said, I don't know. He's just gone out. He said, coming. So Siddharth Basu was really, he was disturbed why he is not editing the film, because he was working, I knew. And I asked Pradeep's editor, can I put some shots? So he says, Pradeep da kuch bolenge to? मैं ना चल देख लेंगे तब निकाल देंगे अब तू चल तो सही. So I putao that guy and I take out shots and I start putting it and I start lining it up. So till 5 o'clock in the evening I line up, and it's quite a bit of a 15 minutes of a film I have already structured. Siddharth Basu arrives at 5 o'clock. Let me see what Pradeep has done and all. He just sees this. He didn't understand. Acha, okay. I'm sir, 15 minutes, and he goes back. He said, as soon as Pradeep comes, ask him to call me. I said, yes, sir. Pradeep comes around 7 o'clock. He says, okay, let's start. So when he comes and let's start, so the editor said, sir, we have put some shots. So he says, हाँ दिखाओ. So he sees shots. And believe me, he says, कि कौन लगाया shots? So the editor said, कि Shoojit ने लगाया. So he looks at me and he doesn't say a word. And he says, चलो आगे का shots लगाते हैं. And when he did this, I knew that, I have this particular day gave me so much of a confidence, and I believed on that day onwards that we all are creative. We all are a creative. There is art in everybody. And on that day, I figured out there was some music in me. I didn't know what the shots were. It's just my instincts. So I feel everybody has got some music in him which compels somebody to do something, to say something. And that's what is art, I feel, which compels you to show your integrity towards the subject, towards the content, towards the concept. And then from that day onward, I become the Chief Assistant Director of Mr. Pradeep Sarkar with Dibakar Banerjee and Jaideep Sahani. So again, I was fortunate enough to pick up a nice job. I buy things from my father and mother also on that day, because I get a lot of money. I've never seen that kind of money in my life. And from that day onwards, I become an editor, not an assistant director. Chief assistant, I edit all the films. Okay, here it is how I became a filmmaker now from there onwards. So I've been assisting, and there is something just, I wanted to make a film. I said, I didn't know how to make a film. And Pradeep Sarkar was an ace at film director of that time. So I was again lucky and fortunate enough. World Cup football, I think 1998 or 99 was just coming in. And there is what company? Dettol, yeah. Dettol was planning to make an ad film on World Cup football, where they wanted 6 or 7 kids in green t-shirt in a Dettol color, going all around on Kolkata playing football. So the film comes to Mr. Pradeep Sarkar to direct the film from an agency called McCann Erickson. Pradeep Sarkar is busy on during those days making a Vimal shooting film. So this film, he just takes, okay, what is this kind of film? This is a one promo kind of thing. Why should I don't have much time. But the creative director says only a Bengali can do this. So he insists Pradeep Sarkar, and he keeps following him. So Pradeep Sarkar's friend, who was also in the business, just see how lucky I am and how football saves me again. His friend tells him, Shoojit, why don't you direct? And I fainted, I have to direct my first film. And I was given, but one thing I was sure, I knew football. Nobody can beat me there. And I started working on the script with Jaideep Sahani. Jaideep Sahani is the writer of Chak De. I said, Jaideep, मैं कर लूँगा ना? तो Jaideep used to tell me, अब तो हाँ बोल दिया, देख ले जो होगा. So I said, fine, हाँ बोल दिया, तो we'll see it. So they gave me one of the best cameramen, best editor, best music director, everybody. And I'm scared of interacting with those people because I don't know their language. So my condition to Pradeep is, let me do this my own way. Don't want these top-line cameramen and this. So I pick up my friend, N. Natarajan, Nati. He's done some TV shows. He covers news. I said, camera पकड़ा है तूने कभी? बोलता हाँ एक बार देखा तो है मुझे मालूम है. So when I got this ad film just to be because at that time it was video, and for me from a video format to jump into a film format was a big jump. So तो मैं पूछता हूँ कि तू कर लेगा? बोलता हाँ चलो देखते हैं. तो this tentative he was. I said fine. So so he goes and talks to a couple of camera guys, and we go to Kolkata and shoot. My first shot is out of focus. So I asked him, क्या हो गया रटी? I don't know, मैंने तो focus किया था, लेकिन focus हुआ नहीं, पता नहीं क्यों. So मैंने बोला यार, मेरे को मरवा मत देना, first film है मेरा. So he says no. And he starts working on that first film. And believe me, that first shot and then the last shot, and we edit the film. And I'm standing here today because of that one Dettol film that I did, and that made havoc in the ad industry. And people started calling me. And I still, till now, I get ad films because of that one film, that Dettol football film I did. Followed by, I did a music video on Man Ke Manjeere, and then many ad films that followed. What I learned in these years before I ventured into my first film, that was Yahan, was theatre. And I tell everybody in every profession, even if it's a doctor, an engineer, is a politician, is an accounts, that, and I tell schools also, everywhere, wherever I go, please introduce, after your college, after you've done anything, everyone should do at least 2 years or 1 year of theatre experience. And also, not the professional theatre, the amateur theatre. Theatre grounds you absolutely. It takes you, it's like it teaches you without anything, with no means, how to live. So tomorrow, even if I have nothing in Mumbai, I know I go back to theatre and I'll live happily. I don't have to worry. So that's what theatre does. I never earned money out of theatre, but theatre has given me a discipline, has compelled me to come out and face what you call Bollywood with my own terms. I have tried as much not to compromise with Bollywood in the conventional film making that we have seen. My contemporaries, Anurag Kashyap, Dibakar, we all tried that, we make films in our own terms. People in Bombay tell me I am director of all the below the belt subjects. I tell them it's not a conscious decision at all, It happened by chance that my first film was Yahan, which is politically on Kashmir. Second film was Vicky Dona. I did a film between Vicky Dona and my first film Yahan. It's called Shoe Bite. It never released. That with my boss, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. So that's never released yet. It's called Shoe Bite. Whenever it releases, you'll see. I'll tell you an incident when I first meet Mr. Bachchan. So it was a hilarious, not hilarious, it was like for me it was like a nightmare meeting, but for him it must be hilarious. So I've done Yahan and nobody has seen Yahan. So I approach with the subject, I said and straight to this legend, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. And I tell him the subject and he says, who is this person? So I think Mrs. Jaya Bachchan told him that he's done film, but he's a Bengali. Possibly that worked. So he calls me. And we have, like all of you, I've watched his films and he calls me at his home because he's come back from some shoot from Ram Gopal Verma's film, and he calls me. I go home. I wait, and he calls me inside straight away. And I go, and he looks at me. Obviously, it's a towering thing, and I know I'm absolutely numb what to say. Then he says, sit down. So I said, I sit down. And when he looks at you, Mr. Bachchan, there's a bizarre thing, You don't know. He's staring at you, he's angry at you, he's laughing at you. He's got it absolutely right. So he says, where's the script? I said, so I take out the script. I said, sir, this is the script. So who has written? I said, so and so written. So he goes through a couple of pages and then possibly. So, where do you want to direct this film? So I tell him I want to direct this film in Manali and this. So he doesn't say a word. He just tells me, okay, I'm going to London. I'm going to come back after a month and see you then. I'll let you know what happens. So I go back home. I don't know. He said yes to film and no to film. And after 20 days, I get a mail from him, from his office, written, Shoojit, what the hell I am doing in this film? And me and my writer are shell-shocked, absolutely. Because we thought he is doing this film and without him we cannot do that, And because Yahan has never worked, and in Mumbai and Bollywood, nothing matters if your film does not work. So me and my friend, sorry to say, we go to a nearby pub, get drunk, and just think what next to do in our life. Because obviously his mail says that what I'm going to do in my life, because obviously this film is not going to happen with him. So 2 days we spend like this, coming and cribbing each other what to do. One day I tell Renzel. Renzel has written Rang De Basanti. Had written Rang De Basanti at that time. So I said, Renzel, can you write a mail for me? He said, what? And again, my jugaad and compelling nature came in, my football came in. I gave it back on that letter. Absolute hard letter on what this character is and what this is and what this is. And you won't believe, it was a 10-page letter explaining why you should do this film. And I am sure that I am taking a panga with a legend straight away, And I sent this letter to his secretary, Rosie. I said, Rosie, can you forward this letter to... So he said, yeah. She calls me back because she's also concerned that you've written a 10-page answer back to us. I said, this is the letter you want to send? I said, yes, ma'am, this is the letter I want to send. So I send that letter, and then I wait. And that wait of 7 days or 8 days, I can't explain it to you. And after that, I get a mail from him. Just one word, okay. And I come and meet him, and he did that film. And that's how I know him. There is a little bacha in him. I now know how hungry he is for a script that can really challenge him. When I went to him with Piku, first meeting, same, again he's going to London. And I give him the script. He says, what is this film about? So I tell him this film is about this irritating old man who is suffering from constipation. And again, he looks at me. I don't know, he's looking because this time I think I've gone overboard. I never thought a superstar legend can be constipated. He says, where is the script? I give him the script. He goes to London again. He says, Shoojit, we need to meet. From London, he calls me. Shoojit, we need to meet. I need to understand this. So he comes back from London. I think he's gone for Shamitab or something. I think. He comes back. He comes up with the script. Me and my writer goes, and he's made many notes and everything. And so I asked my writer, okay, I'll come later. Let me go in and ask. So he's in a deep thought, and he looks at me and said, Shoojit, do I have to say all this? Means this, yes. So till that time, he's gone through the idea, and I figured out that he's gone through the script also. So he's asked me, you read the script. So पहला ही dialogue है, the first dialogue is, Piku says, Baba जाओ, हो जाएगा. And he says, नहीं हो रहा है, pressure ही नहीं आया तो कैसे होगा? So I narrate this, the scene. And when I have to really convince somebody, I jump and I act like Bhaskar. And then he goes to many more pages where the descriptions are much more brutal, in terms of the subject. And he tells me I have to say all this. I said, yes, sir, you have to say all of this. But I think somewhere slowly, when we were going through the script and the ideas in his office, and I used to act and narrate loudly, and I could hear giggle coming from his PA and secretary, guard, they're all giggling around, they're, kya ho kya raha hai, kis tarah ka conversation chal raha hai, with Mr. Bachchan. But finally, I was fortunate enough that he did this film, Piku. And what a performance he did, I think. I think it's one of the best performances, I feel. The scene in Piku where he's peeing and his Man Friday is going, I didn't tell him that scene. I knew if I tell him that scene, there will be huge discussion on that scene. I told him the night before. So tomorrow there's a scene you're doing. I just also rattled like that. So he says, okay. So next morning I went there. I said, kya karna hai? Sir, this is you standing, you're doing, and then he looks at, but last night you didn't say this. No, I said, last night I said this. But I think he's basically an actor, and he's a director's actor. If he sees that, okay, director is convinced, and if you can convince him, he'll do whatever. He'll go out of his way and he'll do it. And he did that scene really going out of the way. I never expected that he'll do the scene. I told my writer, this scene is you just forget about this scene. I try my best. And I did this. So that was with Mr. Bachchan. Okay, coming back to the below the belt director, my first film, as I called in. So my second film, Vicky Donor. I go to studios. Shoojit, what subject you have got? And before that, one film nobody has seen, and one film has not released. So 2 films down, nothing has happened yet. So I say, this is a story about a sperm donor. I know I'm wasting my time in the studio. I knew that they were not going to do this film. I go to some stalwart actors. I won't name them. It's unethical. I told them, this is a story about a sperm donor, and I said, very good, very good, very good, very good. But I was sure that no, it is just not a story of a sperm donor. It is beyond that. It was much more a deeper subject when we really get into that, when you really, do a surgery and critical of Vicky Donor. So what do? I tell my friend who's a producer, Ronnie, who's my friend now also, I tell him, I have to make this film. So what do I have to do to make this film? So we make in a really small budget. He says, we'll have to work on 20 ad films. I said, fine, let's start tomorrow. I work hard for 20 ad films, get money. And I said, okay, let's start producing. Now he says, who will be the actor? I said, let's start with the fresh. So we go to many star sons and sons. Will say, no sir, first film sperm donor to nahi hoga. So my casting director, Jogi, he said, sir, एक लड़का है, उसको try करूं? कौन है? Sir, वो NTV में है, बहुत बोलता रहता है वो. आयुष्मान खुराना है. तो मैंने बोला कि So I say, call him. He doesn't know anything. He comes to my office in Juhu, we sit. I said, so what have you done, Sir? I have tried my best. I'm looking for a right film to be launched in Bollywood. So I tell him this is a story of a sperm donor. Obviously, he looks at me. So I said, do you want to read the script and come back? He said, हाँ sir, I'll read the script and come back. He calls me the next day. He wanted to do it. He just quickly reads the script. He says, sir, good film, I'm doing. But sir, एक scene है उसमें. उस scene में ना वो डॉक्टर उसको एक कंटेनर देता है और वो करना है. So I tell him, look, I am not here to make a sex comedy or a slapstick film. If I think that scene is hygienic enough, I'll keep it. He's really scared. He said, sir, वो scene मत रखो. I said, ठीक है, नहीं रखूँगा, चल. तो तू कर रहा है ना film? हाँ sir, मैं कर रहा हूँ film. I put him on the workshop and we start doing that film. Start shooting that film. Not start shooting, planning that film to shoot. Again, how jugaad comes up, I'll tell you how it comes in my film. So my production team goes to Delhi to hunt for locations. They go to 18 societies and to go and ask for permission. They say, क्या कर रहे हो जी आप लोग? So they say, we're doing a shooting of this and this, and there's a film about a sperm donor. Rejected. So now I need a colony to shoot. So where do I shoot? I tell my production, I have to shoot. Don't bother me. Just go and get me a location. So my production guy, Kumar Thakur, he came to Bombay to become an actor. He became a spot boy and then he became my assistant. He still works with me. He's one of the very good guys. So after 15, 20 days, he comes back and says ki, sir, ek location mila hai, kar sakte hain shoot. I said, thank God. Because I was also really skeptical that this film won't happen. I kahan shoot karunga? The budget is so less. Nobody has given me money. It's my own money. So he says, मैंने बोला, where have you found? बोलते नहीं sir, एक North Delhi में एक जगह है, एक particular एक गली है, जिसके अंदर we can shoot. I said, कैसे? How did you allow? Sir, वहाँ पे problem ये नहीं है. वहाँ आप बस कुछ बोलना मत. वहाँ वैसे sperm का मालूम किसी को, sperm का मतलब ही नहीं मालूम किसी को. आप बोलना ऑर्गन डोनेशन कर रहे हैं. And Ayushman he can't keep quiet. So all the aunties and the girls of that colony will call him for tea, coffee and dinner and biryanis and all what. I said, तू बोलना मत. नहीं sir, मैं नहीं बोलूँगा. Last day बोल देता है वो. And then kusur-pusur starts all over the colony. But thank God, by the time I've canned all my shots. And somehow when talks happen, we are out of that place by that evening. And that's how I shot, especially that film. Those sequences in his area. We didn't have money to shoot, when I say to that film. So my production guy comes back and says, I hope you have seen that in that film there is a Punjabi and a Bengali marriage happening. Let me tell you, real marriages are much more worst. It's much more abusive. So you don't know how much a Punjabi galifies a Bengali and a Bengali a Punjabi. Have you seen the marriage or not? I don't know. So we don't have money to build up a set for a huge marriage sequence. So what do? We go and I tell them, we go to shoot during the winter season from February. We had planned this because we didn't have really to put up a huge marriage set. So I tell them, find out some of the best weddings happening in the city. So they go and find out the one wedding which is really elaborate. So I tell my production guy, go and ask the owners, bride's father, that we will give your name in the film. And when you are done with your marriage, say maybe 1 o'clock in the night, you just go, leave the place wherever it is and I'll go and shoot. And at 1 o'clock in the night, I said, leave the plates, whatever it is, food, the way it is, don't worry. And that's how they leave. And believe me, I didn't put any set. I just put on the generator and I am ready outside like you standing. As soon as the real marriage goes away, we'll all enter and shoot that sequence. And that's how I make Vicky Donor in that small budget possible. And John came in quite late in the film, where we almost decided that we are going to do the film. And John said, okay, I want to be a producer. So I said, again, John, this is a film about this sperm donor. So John also looks at me. मैंने बोला बीच में छोड़ के भाग मत जाना, please. But then rest is history, and it becomes a cult film in Bollywood. What do you call? Well, there are many facts and many things in that film which I think was quite progressive. A lot of ladies from Delhi have called me when I showed that mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law drinking together. Dolly ji and all. There's a bit of a story behind that, how that scene came up. The story of me and my mother. So when I was doing theatre, obviously, you know, I didn't have money. So me, Piyush Mishra, Gajraj Rao, every evening we'll sit on a terrace and have a couple of drinks and talk about cinema. And my father was not well, and my mother was down. She was not sleeping well, and all that was happening. So one day, Piyush and Gajraj went away, and my mother was there. She just finished her. No, she didn't eat. No, she didn't finish her dinner. So I tell her, Mom, Ma, can I give you a little? She's the पागल हो गया तो बाप क्या बोलेंगे मेरे को तू मैंने बोला कुछ नहीं मैं आपको थोड़ा सा देता हूँ आप देखो एक दिन क्या है आप टीवी देख रहे हो have so my mom looks at me बोलता है कि ठीक है मुझे स्टील के ग्लास में दे and I give her a little and she drinks. Obviously, at that moment, she doesn't feel anything. That night, she sleeps really well. And next morning, she wakes up. And from then on, whenever I'm out of Delhi, she'll look for me. Where are you? Kab ghar aa raha hai? Not for me. She was lovely. So that's the scene which came into the film, and that's how it was incorporated. And yeah. And I still get letters, mails from a lot of Punjabi ladies from Chandigarh and Delhi कि thank you आपने दिखाया daughter-in-law, mother-in-law को पीते हुए और शादी में पीते हुए कि अब हम जब भी शादी में जाते हैं at least हमको कोई कोक तो नहीं देगा. So that's the story of Vicky Donor. There are many anecdotes on Vicky Donor. And another my favorite film that I do is Madras Cafe. I never thought that I could attempt a film like Madras Cafe, which was based on an almost real assassination plot. And many of you were not aware of that time what was happening in Sri Lanka about the Tamil refugees and Tamil fighters and India and Southeast Asia. I never thought I could pull off this large-scale film on the civil war. And how do I create a civil war? Hollywood can create a civil war. How can Bollywood create a civil war? We have never seen a civil war. But that was really serious. I know it dealt with a very, very sensitive subject. And it was really sensitive film. But I managed a jugaad there also. Now, how to create a civil war? With choppers flying, with fires, with choppers, with gypsies going around, with many. So I tell my production guy, how do we create this? So they don't know. They have no clue what to do. We're shooting in Kerala. So Kerala celebrates, in Kerala, there's a big naval base, Navy. So we figure out when is the Navy Day being celebrated in Kerala, in Cochin. So they figure out, okay, so and so week the Navy Day is being celebrated. I shoot my film, I'm shooting my film, and have kept my camera, one focusing up on the sky. So as soon as the chopper goes passing by, hey, shoot, and the chopper shoot. So very few effects you have seen, and most of the choppers are Navy Day choppers. And that's how I've put them into the film cleverly, and that's how I could create the Madras Cafe Civil War. I was really not, I don't know how to create that. And as I said, that all these films that I have tried to create have been everybody says they're really out of the box. I mean, for me, these are all my theater experience, which taught me how you can still make an entertaining film, but still socially relevant. You can entertain the audience, you can make them laugh, and if they carry back home what the core message is, then you're lucky enough as a director and a filmmaker. And I've tried my best to do in all these three films. Yeah, and what do I say? I think you all are going to pass out soon, and some are still a couple of years to go. It is the basic integrity that has stayed with me, is not to compromise. And I always believe in one thing, which I must tell you, and that could be, if you really think, keep it with you. I always believe that whatever you do, whatever you do, any small thing, somewhere someone is watching you. And somewhere someone will definitely come to you, how small you are there. How big doesn't matter, because someone somewhere is watching you. There's no escape. If there is a talent, if there is an art and there is a music inside you, even if it's a science, singing, painting, whatever, or even cooking, whatever, somewhere someone is watching you. So this is me. This is how I am here. Anybody? And yeah, I'm open to...
Thank you, sir. We have had an amazing response from the audience. Thank you for your questions. And we have tried to concise it up to a few questions. So the first question is...
Come here,
sir,
come here.
Sir, there happens to be a lot of curiosity about your latest movie, Piku. We heard you talking about it.
Yeah.
So what was the idea of portraying motion in a motion picture?
Okay, I will answer this. It's very simple. I hope you had a good motion today. Obviously, I mean, meet a guy who didn't have a good motion in the morning, and you meet that man.
Another movie of yours, Vicky Donor, sir, it was quite different from the mainstream movie we are habituated with, be it Karan Johar or a Sanjay Leela Bansali. So, sir, how do you weigh the parameters, let me say, the risk versus the success? How do you evaluate it when you're making a movie? Does that go in your mind or something?
How do I evaluate?
I mean, is that something that goes in your mind?
I'll answer it in a different way. If Rohit Shetty can get away with Dilwale, I can get away with Vicky Donor.
So there are a lot of students in IIT and even other engineering institutes who do not pursue engineering after their degrees, right? There are some aspiring filmmakers and all. So what would be your advice to them?
Please repeat.
What would be your advice to a budding filmmaker around, I mean, who's sitting in here?
Oh, I see. Filmmaking is quite simple. Filmmaking is purely observations. What? Okay, one small advice apart from Jugaad. Filmmaking is purely a reflections of life, pure reflections of life that you observe. See what's around and what you observe. All the characters in Wiki Donor and Piku are purely real, and I've seen them and I've faced them. There's not a single character. I have seen characters like Dr. Chadda loitering around in Delhi Gate, in Delhi and Chandni Chowk. There are many of them like Chaddas. So, it's very simple. All the reflections of your life and around, just observe. And then, obviously, Jugaad.
So we are not sure if you have been to Coffee with Karan, but if you agree, can we have a rapid fire round? A few questions, sir. A few.
All right, let's see if I can answer
So, favorite football team?
Barcelona.
Favorite football player?
Messi.
Favorite actress in Bollywood?
Oh, very difficult. Very difficult. No.
Come on.
Huh?
Just give a name.
No.
So, one actor you would wish to direct?
Huh?
One actor you would wish to direct?
Which actor I wish to direct?
Yes.
Meryl Streep.
Favorite Hollywood movie?
Favorite Hollywood movie? Oh, how many of them? One of them will be, one of the favorites is Platoon and JFK. They're all old, I don't know, have you seen JFK and Platoon? Some of you. You must see it, yeah.
So, Bollywood, Hollywood or Tollywood? Which one's your favorite?
Bollywood, Hollywood or Collywood? I won't lie, Hollywood.
So, this one would be simple, I guess. The best IIT you have been to?
IIT Kharagpur.
Mr. Sircar, it has been a pleasure having you here. So now, thanks for coming down to KGP. Now we would be presenting you a token of appreciation. So.
Thank you so much, guys. This was just wonderful. My privilege.
I would like to invite our chairman, Professor Bhargav Maitra, to present the token of appreciation.
I think you should get a feel of the audience. Yeah. Let the light be on.
Yeah.
Let the light be on in the audience. Let the light be on in the audience, please.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, and it's an overwhelming response, as you can see over here. So visit us again when the opportunity arises, and thanks a lot once again. So may I request Professor Maitra to present a small token of appreciation to you.
I, it was really dark up there. I couldn't see there, but this is really overwhelming. I can't say in words. Thank you so much.